I should share my screen as well, shouldn't I? Yeah. Screen. And excellent. I hope everyone can see that.
Checking everyone on Zoom here, Jakob. Fantastic.
All right, excellent. So today I'll be talking about an app we made called AeroDoodle 3D. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about the team behind AeroDoodle 3D and why it was such a good team. So AeroDoodle 3D, I'm going to be talking about what it is, why we made AeroDoodle 3D, why it came into existence, and then who's involved in the project. A couple of key terms I want to clarify before we begin, so everyone's on the same page. CFD is computational fluid dynamics, and it's a virtual version of a wind tunnel. So imagine your physical wind tunnel, but on a computer. And then AR, which is augmented reality, and it overlays virtual information onto real world objects. And it's different from virtual reality, which is entirely immersive and entirely digital. So what is AeroDoodle 3D? It's an augmented reality app that overlays a virtual wind tunnel onto a real world object. It shows aerodynamic information, such as air velocity and air pressure. And then it also provides two key values, aerodynamic values, lift and drag. These are usually the driving forces that aerodynamicists need to improve the design. Here it is in action. You can see it just on the right-hand side. You can see how those streamlines show the velocity going over that over the mug, and the different colors represent different velocities. So the aims of AeroDoodle 3D, the first was to demonstrate the key steps to running an aerodynamic study. So what you do is you find an object that you want to simulate, you set up your simulation, you run your simulation, and then you analyze that simulation afterwards. We wanted to create a low cost and medium fidelity demonstration of CFD. And then we also wanted to make sure that it was highly accessible to children and educators, so that everyone knows what an aerodynamicist does and what's possible in the realms of engineering. Most importantly, we're going to be talking about the team. And so we have Carlos, he's a PhD student here in the Computational Foundry. Ben Evans, he's a associate professor or senior lecturer in engineering. You should know that. We have Saskia, who's a PhD student here as well, Computational Foundry, who just started. Tom Owen, lecturer here in the Computational Foundry, myself, and Sean Walton, another lecturer in Computational Foundry. There's some key aspects to creating a good team. And the first is to create a team that maximizes key areas of interest. So when we talk about AeroDoodle, we have an app that has aerodynamics in it. We're targeting it towards children, so we need someone who's an expert in education. It's an augmented reality app as well, so we need someone who's an expert in that. Obviously, you're making an app, so you need someone who's good in that. And then we also wanted to ask teachers what they thought about our app and through a survey. So we need someone who's good at data analysis. And so we have Ben, who's our expert in aerodynamics, Sean Walton, our expert in education, Carlos was our expert in augmented reality, Saskia was the one who developed the app, and then we have Tom Owen, who's in charge of data analysis. So each person on the team filled in an important role in making sure that they were the expert in each of these areas. And it's not to say that we don't have overlapping qualities or expertise, but each person, again, was just the expert in that area. Second thing is to create a team where everyone is smarter than you. And the reason this is important is because it gives you the opportunity to learn from your team members. It also allows team members to drive processes. And then lastly, for personal benefit, a smarter team will actually push you to do better. An example of this, in terms of processes, I go to Tom when I need to talk about data analysis, and I let him drive our methodology, make sure that it's up to scruff. In terms of what teachers need, we go to Sean. Sean, a previous teacher, or has education experience. So in terms of how to create a lesson plan and all that, let Sean do that and learn from what all the team members contribute to that. And then lastly, create a team that you can trust. So don't waste time micromanaging tasks that are delegated. I don't go to anyone and ask them what stage they're at with any of their work, because I know it's going to be done, and I know it's going to be done to a really high standard. Value honesty, especially when it's not good feedback, especially during criticism. This is a hard one to get past, but the first time that you're honest with someone, it's a massive weight off your shoulders, and it really lets the project move forward. And that's always the key thing, is the project being the best it can be. And sometimes it can be really tough finding out how you can actually trust someone, especially if you haven't worked with them before. And I would say the best way to start is by being a good teammate yourself. So being trustworthy yourself, being honest with your team, and allowing that, again, pushing the project forward as best as you can. So back to AeroDoodle 3D. We've got 5 key stages coming up. We've done the first one, which is actually to create the app and to put it on the Play Store. The second stage is where we're at right now, and that's to we create a survey, gave it to teachers, gave the app to teachers, and then we will publish those findings in a paper. After that, we're going to look at the feedback that the teachers gave us and improve the app. Then hopefully we can get it onto the App Store for Apple devices, so that we can get it again into the hands of many people as possible. And then lastly is to partner with local schools and charity organizations such as F1 in Schools and Bloodhound Education. And again, the goal is to get this into the hands of as many kids and educators as possible. Going back to the theme of these talks, my research, why it matters. So why does it matter to have a good team? Well, it provides a platform for everyone to develop their skills. Specifically talking about AeroDoodle, Saskia used AeroDoodle as a bridge between her undergraduate and eventually where she is now onto her PhD. And AeroDoodle was an excellent example for her to use in her interviews as something that she is able to do. I'm going to leave everyone with a quote from Phil Jackson. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And he says, the most we can hope for is to create the best possible conditions for success, then let go of the outcome. Whatever the outcome is what it is, but just create that success, create that team that will be able to deliver a great product or end result. You can download AeroDoodle 3D if you have a compatible Android device by scanning that QR code. I'll leave that QR code up for a minute. And then for anyone in the room, I've got some Android devices with AeroDoodle on it, so we can have a go at it. Go at it afterwards, after the presentation. Any questions?